So they traded under him. Oh my gosh. That sure lit a fire under them. Hi everyone. I'm going to react to the case study. The Slime Diaries, episode 10. Snow Blankets, the City of Monsters. Last episode was winter. Winter was coming and they were getting ready. And then they showed these two monsters that I'm like, Apito and Zegion, I believe. And I'm like, are they going to be important characters moving forward? Like, I don't know. But yeah. That's what happened last episode. And before we get into this one, if you guys have my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and please consider supporting my Patreon at patreon.com/feelme. And now let's start this episode, and here we go. It's a good thing I put these reactions at the end, because, like, yeah. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm upset. So this show's gonna perk me back up. And here we go. Like I said, I was gonna go back and look at the scene where Rimuru was talking about how they did the what did you call it again? The hot spring. I had to go back and look at the scene again just to remember what it's called. The hot spring, how they created the hot spring. The shadow movement, what they did him, and he said that at that particular moment it was just him and the Soe that used shadow movement, and that they basically created this bridge between this water that has magical whatever. This water was in the great underground cave that was filled with magic. Was that the same cave that after he was turned into a slime, where he met Veldora? Was that the same cave that they're talking about? I think it's the same cave, but they basically just them two made this pathway between the water there up to where they were right now, where the hot spring is right now in Tempest. They said it was a really hard job, so they didn't they gave up. Instead of popping it into everybody's home, they just created this hot spring. And as I was looking at that scene again, I see Milim in the background. Like, yeah. When I first was watching the episode, I saw her doing that. I'm like, what is she doing? I was thinking that to myself, but I didn't say anything. I'm like, what is she doing over there? Being all cute and stuff. And then it was sort of like immediately, sort of a little bit after this particular scene, after they explained how the hot spring came to be, and then they show Soe in his house, also thinking about that they went to the witch of the forest, Miuran, and then she was like, she was basically ordered by Clement to keep an eye on Rimuru, but not to let Milim know that she was doing it, or that she was going to get punished. And as it showed this flash of Clement ordering her to do this and her punishment and whatnot, he was holding a heart. So I'm like, is the heart that he's holding, is it the witch's heart? And then after it was done, the witch is like, I wish to go back to the forest, to go back to seclude myself back in the forest or something or other like that. I'm assuming, just based on this particular scene, that she doesn't want to work with or for Clement, and he's forcing her to. And the fact that he's holding that heart, I'm assuming that heart is something that's attached with Miuran. I don't know if it's her heart or if it's somebody that she knows, she cares about, heart that Clement is holding hostage to make her do what he wanted her to do. But then, like I was saying, as I was replaying it, I seen him doing this, and when Miuran was looking at the crystal ball that she was using to keep an eye on everything, and then you see Milim looking at her doing all those things, and I'm like, oh, so she's actually, each time she's basically Milim does know that she's keeping an eye on them, That when you see Muran basically being dejected, that if that she sees her or whatever doing whatever that she was trying to do. The last thing that you see in the crystal ball was Miriam doing this. And when we saw her in the hot spring, her back was to us and she was doing this in the background as everybody else was talking. So basically she was like saying hi to Miriam, like I see you, So it wasn't until I started replaying that scene that I'm like, oh, so as she was in the bath doing that, it was just because she was just, being Miriam, enjoying whatever. I don't know what she was watching, but I'm like, just her being her. But it wasn't that. It was that, hey, I see you, So that was cool. Also in the bath. I didn't say it as I was watching the episode. But when I saw the girl with the yellow hair, I'm like, who the heck is that? I'm like, who the heck is that? I see Shion. I'm like, is it Shuna? But Shuna doesn't have yellow hair. And they chose Shuna and her pink hair. I'm like, oh, so it's not Shuna. Who else is it? Then I started thinking about Trainee. But then I'm like, it doesn't feel like Trainee. And then I'm like, wait, is it Milim? Milim has pink hair. So, and then Milim comes out of the water with Rimuru. So I'm like, who the heck is she? I didn't think about it after the scene played out, and then it wasn't until I went back there to watch it again, to watch that scene again, then I'm like, oh, it's the girl from the Three Travelers that used to travel with Shizu. It's her. Oh, it took me such a long time. Okay, that scene with Geld. Like, you see these orcs walking in the snow and just like someone fell. At first I was a little confused. I'm like, okay, why are they tired? Where are they coming from? But then as I saw the person that was in front of, behind or whatever of Geld, I'm like, wait, is this in the past? That guy, I feel like that guy is his father, the orc disaster. And then one of them fell, and I'm like, oh wait, this must be like a flashback. So clearly, during those times, they didn't have food, so they probably went scrounging for food, and then winter came, and then they were traveling back, I guess, or something. But the winter was so strong that it basically killed one of them, so they had to leave that person behind. And then when they switched from that scene to current Tempest, and then he was surrounded by Kokobu and the other children, and then she was carrying her and everything, and then he's like, he's never gonna let winter come to this town or something or other. I'm like, oh, I love Geld, man, like I do. Sokka was making the snowman in her shape and of Zoe's shape. As she was doing all those things, Zoe was in the background looking at her. And then as she finished doing it, he just jumped down straight up behind her. It's like, what are you doing? What are those? And he goes, I'm just making it for target practice and whatnot. He's like, okay, so which one are you gonna choose? And when I'm like, sometimes I feel like, not that I feel like, yeah, whatever. I feel like he has feelings for her as well. So he always keeps tabs on her, And when he drops down there and he's like, which target do you want to take? Do you want to pick? And I'm like, I don't see her picking. So it's, Snowy, Snowy. Oh my gosh. I basically combine Snow and Snowy. The snowman, like his version of the snowman. I don't see her like launching a dagger at. No. So if she's gonna choose, she's probably gonna choose herself. But yeah, that was cute. What else? The snow was like at the beginning when snow had like formed on the ground and everything, and then Rimuru like jumped, and Shuna was looking for him. And Rigo's like, I don't know where he is, but I'll let you know when I find him. And they like, hey, he was stuck in there. And then that conversation that they were having, and Shion was like, when she was also young, like I said, I love that we got to see in the previous episode we got to see the baby, well, the young version of Betty Maru, and then this episode we saw Shion's young self. So that was really cool. And then she was like, she used to run around, barely clothed in the snow and jumping into the snow first head, whatever. Basically, what Arimoto did, Edun was like, wait, is Chiro and I on the same level? Oh my gosh, that was funny. And then he did it again at the end of the episode, like the after credit. Like, it was just like he was basically pulled into it or something. Just seeing the beauty of the snow and whatever, and you're just like into it, and then he got stuck again. Oh my goodness. When Stroke came, right, and then they were making this announcement over the airwaves for everybody to show up and shovel the snow. And they showed Yom, and I'm like, oh, they're still here. And then they were also present, and the remote was like telling them, what to do. And they're like, we're not here basically to become your handyman. And remote was like, well, Hakuro told me to give you a change of pace, but if you don't want to choose and just want to go back to practice, then like, they just fired them up so much, just started working. They would rather shovel snow than go back to Hakuro's training. And I'm like, oh, so they're training under Hakuro. That's really cool. I feel like everyone is training under him. Like I'm not gonna say every person that lives in Tempest, but I guess every able fighter, I don't know, but Hakuro is just like training everybody, and they were also being trained by him. So you have that persuasion, that the fear of going to his training, pushing them to work and shovel the snow. And then you have Shuna also with her sweet voice, her prettiness and whatnot, just giving them this other incentive to work really hard to shovel the snow. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. What else? Trini making a snow man of, who did she make it of? Oh, but I was like, I don't think it's of her, but it's clearly somebody else. I just don't know who it was. And I don't know who it was asking her if they basically hate the snow. And it's like, no, the trees don't hate the snow. It's just a time for them to sort of like wait patiently for the next spring to come up. And this boy had to open his mouth and tell Trini, when is your spring? And then she sprung a tree up below him with this really tall tree, and he's like stuck up there. He's like, please get me down. I'm like, no, you need to stay there for a little bit because you need to learn, man. He needs to learn to mind his speech, to think before he speaks, because like things that he said just always put him in trouble. He's just like, no, stay up there, learn a little bit. What else? Let me see. I think I'm gonna be able to. At the beginning of the episode, you had the I keep forgetting the names. The three with the guild master basically putting on this act about them having to leave but not really wanting to leave because snow is here, and we were just like, if you guys want to stay, just stay. Just stop with the acting. And they're like, yay! That was cute. Let me see. Just sort of like scrolling real quick throughout. Ranga is woke back. Woke back. What's the word again? Back? Wolf pack, I guess. They were like, snow has come. We basically there are. I thought what he was saying was basically meaning that they are the greatest at shoveling snow or something, or getting rid of snow or something or other like that. And then they just come out of the shadow realm and they're just basically was playing in the snow. Like, really? That's what you meant by it? Oh, yeah, yeah. Or were they just like, sort of like defeated by how, you know, when you see snow? Where I lived, we rarely see snow, and even if we do, it's not up to the amount where you can play in it, So it's like, yeah, maybe they thought they were gonna do a great job at shoveling the snow or whatever, but then when they came out of their shadow realm and then saw how beautiful the snow is, they just couldn't help but play in it, I guess. And then Benimaru using his fireball to destroy the snow, and then he was like making it seem to everybody else that you have to have this particular you have to sort of be precise as to how to use your firepower to destroy the snow without creating a damage to everything else. And then internally he's just like, they're just making me do these things way too often, and it's like it's become sort of a second nature or whatever. And when he was laughing, it's like like he does not really it's like he doesn't really want to keep doing this. Like, well, you're making me do this like all the time. Like, he'll do it, but it's like he's the like before he even used his fire to destroy it, they were writing how he's the supreme commander or whatever, and then he was using his ability to get rid of snow. And then Millie was also she made like this giant looking size Rimuru with the snow, and Rimuru was touched. He was like, oh, she must really like me. And then he brought up the snow hut thing, and then she wanted to do it, so she just basically used the shovel. Was just trying to create a hole inside the snow thing that she just made. And Rimuru like, I guess she doesn't really like me that much. She loves you, man. And so it was really beautiful the way it turned out. They created the hole, and then like inside the dome, it was just like, I don't know. And then they created this sort of like lamps with. Did it make glass out of this? I don't know. I know he used the gray sage to do something, but like the way, I don't know, it was just beautiful looking, like inside of it. And Shuna brought them things to drink, and they were just like having fun, I guess. Trying to see if there's anything else. No, I don't think there's anything else. I think the only two things that I actually learned this episode was Muran. Yeah, Muran, the Muran showing up, them introducing her, and then knowing that Yum was being trained by Hakuro. So those were the two things that I learned from this episode. I know I was told that there were going to be characters that were going to be introduced in Slam Diaries, and Muran is clearly one of them. And I was wondering last episode if Apito and Segion were also gonna be important characters moving forward. So that would be like 3 characters that they've introduced in the Slam Diaries, if those 2 are also gonna be important moving forward. Muran clearly will, because she's being used by Clement, and yeah, I just don't know about Apito and Segion. So thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, you can just go by checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/filmini, and you can also see the full line for this reaction there as well. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. Let's start to bring you the Diaries. Te lo digo miserable, voy a verte sufrir. Tiembla porque llegó tu depredador, tú me robaste toda la